Indonesia has a goal of wanting to become the next global economic superpower in the next few decades. This means that it will need to upsize its entire industry, such as its financial and service sector, its mining, and agriculture. But most importantly, what needs to be addressed is Indonesia's manufacturing sector, because it plays a key industry in the nation attaining higher economic growth and becoming what it wants to be, an upper middle income country. So far, however, manufacturing has already played a key role in the economy. According to the Bank of Indonesia, manufacturing contributes around 20% annually to the gross domestic product of the nation. So what else does Indonesia need to improve in terms of its manufacturing sector? Well, even though it's already a huge industry, it is still lacking, especially when we compare it to competitive nations with excellent advanced manufacturing sectors. Furthermore, Indonesia's productivity within the sector is also low, far lower compared to where it wants to be. Thankfully, there is a solution to all of these. But before we move on, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe for more. First, to understand its future, let's first look at its past. Indonesia's modern industrialization experienced massive growth around the mid-1960s, which was commonly attributed to the arrival of Suharto. Its manufacturing exports started to rise around the 1970s, and within the same decade, heavy industries were booming. Manufacturing specifically was growing more than 10% a year, making it one of Indonesia's fastest-growing industries at that time, which also made it the normal sector to work for, and was becoming the life of Indonesia's economic growth. This then made the sector not just an important industry for the future, but as the fuel to how we got here. By 1997, the manufacturing sector's share of GDP grew to over 27%, but things were not looking good before the 21st century, and the continent in which Indonesia resides faced one of the largest challenges in its history. The Asian financial crisis hit, and Indonesia was in a terrible position. Its progress stalled, so much so that it impacted even up to today. From a GDP growth rate of over 7.2% from 1990 to 1997 to less than 5.3% from 2000 to 2017. And because of this, Indonesia lagged behind some peers in Southeast and East Asia. Further, its GDP share from manufacturing was falling every year after the Asian financial crisis, and jobs that should have gone into this sector went elsewhere, such as retail and wholesale, hotels, and construction. Now, as the world transitioned to more complex and advanced manufacturing, Indonesia's competitiveness on the world stage seems to be vanishing. But this competitiveness isn't impossible to catch up to. If Indonesia can upsize its manufacturing in the past by surging numbers, it can do so again today and in the future. The current government introduced a new roadmap to support the growth of its manufacturing sector from 2020 to 2024, known as Making Indonesia 4.0. This plan will enable the manufacturing industry to achieve a 7% annual growth rate and improve its workforce by more than 20%. And its key 5 industries that it will support are textile and garments, food and beverages, electronics, automotive, and chemicals. And its specific details are that it will really use the term Industry 4.0, which is defined as the fourth industrial revolution, incorporating technologies such as artificial intelligence and robots into its traditional factories to make it a what is now called the smart factories. To do this, the government has laid out 4 strategies that it needs to achieve. The first is incentivizing innovation, meaning that it will provide the capital by removing taxes or providing grants, and providing the infrastructure in order for business startups to thrive and be able to compete in the global market. Second, it wanted to accelerate the digitalization of its small and medium businesses, meaning it wants every business to know and understand the digital economy. This will then improve the market landscape by the introduction of better customer service, more options, and ultimately improve the business community. Third, it has put in place vocational schools to teach these individuals who are keen on adapting to the new technologies that Industry 4.0 brings. After all, in the end, it's all about human capital to do the work. Lastly, Indonesia has placed several events in order to capture international investments within the sector, and this is as we can already see happening all around us after countries and institutions around the world have been pouring billions of dollars of investments into Indonesia. Although 2024 is just a short-term outlook, it is key to ensuring that this will be the start of Indonesia's rise.